Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course, and we are pleased to be joined by the one, the only Katie Osborne of Fox Sports, and also you see her covering some car auctions on NBCS, the Meckham auctions, of course, on NBCSN. Hey, Katie, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. This is fantastic. That was quite the intro, by the way. Thank you for that.
No problem. You got to get creative with these. I know you've covered 3 ARCA races so far for the series for Fox. I know that this is your second year doing this, and I know you've had a blast doing this, getting to know the drivers and all that fun stuff. Just kind of talk about what it's been like to cover the series.
Yeah, Casey, the ARCA series is really, the ARCA Menard series is a lot of fun. As you said, second season. This year we've only gotten 3 under the belt, and I think we have Fox has a total of 8 this season. Yeah. But what's super cool about ARCA, and people can hear me talk about this all the time, actually, is the fact that I love the dichotomy of the young, the youthful, the real dominant, or those who are really pursuing this as a career path. And these guys who are doing all they can day in and day out in the gym, doing media training, trying to make it next level, whatever next level is for them. And then you have these other guys over here who, sometimes like Brad Smith says, like, my hauler is older than the guys who, some of these young guns who are on the track. And these guys are just out there fulfilling their dreams and their goals and their passions for what motorsport represents and means to them. And I love those stories too. And I think that that's what makes ARCA so cool and so dynamic, is you kind of, as a reporter, get the best of both worlds in storytelling and also following the stories of these real competitive athletes as well. So it's super cool. I'm so grateful to be a part of it.
I know that, over the last few years, you've built a pretty good relationship with Ty Gibbs. What's the relationship like between you and Ty? Because I know you two always have a lot of fun on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, Ty is great. I know everyone has their opinion. When you mention Ty Gibbs, there's an immediate thought that pops into your mind, whether it's good or bad boy, or this dominant guy. Everyone has something related to the words Ty Gibbs. And for me, I find him to be a really cool guy who he and I just have a really good friendship going. I think we have some mutual friends in the mix, and I think we both started within the ARCA world kind of together, so we're both kind of seeing each other grow. And yeah, I think Ty's a cool guy. I do think of course he has that, puts those sunglasses on and will walk around inside with those things on if he wants to, and kind of does what he wants. But I think he works hard. I think one of the things that the outside doesn't get a chance to see is how his team respects him. And when you're in the hauler and you're having, your pre-race chats with him and the crew and Mark McFarland, the crew chief, you don't really get a chance to see that from the outside. And, in talking to Mark just last week, and I said, what makes Ty next level? And he said, the guy doesn't have an ego. The guy's always asking questions. He wants to learn. He's there to support the team. And those are the things that, like, in the dark, behind closed doors, nobody gets to see. And I just get a glimpse of that every so often. So that's Ty. I think he's a cool guy. And I think obviously one to watch as we continue, if we continue following his career.
Yeah, of course. So I know that, you also do, these car auctions and stuff for NBCSN and all that. I know that many people are like, car auctions during a pandemic of all those people there. I'm like, that's interesting. Yeah, right? But you guys made it work. And I don't know how you guys made it work, but you guys made it work. What's it like going to one of these things?
Well, thankfully now we have people back again, which is awesome. Slow and steady, that happened last year. One of the coolest things, people who have money right now, right? And this pandemic has been such an interesting time because Mecum auctions continue to sell, and not just sell. Like, we were hitting numbers that we had, or at least, hitting numbers that were that before the pandemic. And so those auctions are a whole lot of fun. It brings in such a different demographic. It brings in people who are car enthusiasts, who are there to see a car show. It brings in people who, they wear their those car button-up car shirts, and you see, like little Mustangs on their shirts. It brings in that kind of people. And yeah, I think overall it's just it's a really cool place to hear a lot of stories, whether it be 3 generation, right? You got these older gentlemen who bring, their son, and their son brings their daughter. And next thing you know, we're having a conversation that all 3 of them love cars, and they share this with each other. And then you have, multi-million-dollar cars that are being sold that are one-offs and that you will never see ever again, right? And you get that kind of high with it. So yeah, in the pandemic it was wild, but they're still cranking and we're still selling for sure.
Yeah, of course. That's always good to see you guys out there doing it, and it's amazing to see that. So what's been the best car that you've seen go on the auction block?
That's so hard. We've had, I mean,
Oh,
that is there one that stands out to you? There, I mean, we have so many. We have a really, let's see, let's take it back. That's really hard because like I can take a Grand Wagoneer and like that's what's so cool to me. I can take a Bronco or a Scout. You know, all these people are like we see these movie cars, the Bullet, you know, across the block at like, I don't know, what was it again, like $4 million or so. Like to them, that's like that car. But to me, I get stoked on like, I don't know, I get stoked on like cars. This is not a joke. I get stoked on cars that like I can put together and like make them, I can name them and they look like banana splits to me and or strawberry shortcakes, or they have personality. Those are the kind of cars when I see across the block that I'm like, that's cool. That's something special.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
What was it, you know, this is kind of like flipping back and forth between, you know, many roles in television, because, you know, you can't, in this business, you can't like have like one specific thing that you do. It's literally, you have to do like all these things.
Right. Do you remember the term MMJ? It's the multimedia journalist, and you got to do.
I have many friends that are MMJs.
Wear all the hats, do all the things. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, a good buddy of mine who's now SID at Northeastern was one of them in Detroit. So
yeah, that's a hard talk about. That's mad props to them. But anyway, so flipping back.
I don't even know how he did it. So it was actually worked at a Fox station. So that was
right on.
Yeah. Cool. So going back to, you know, covering, I think the next ARCA race for you guys is Charlotte. Mm-hmm. So first time for you have you been there, or first time for you?
Yeah, I've been to Charlotte quite a bit. I used to cover Global Rallycross, and way back when in 2013, 14, they were running over at the dirt track over at Charlotte, which is wild to think that GRC did that. But yeah, I've been, but from an ARCA standpoint, NASCAR, part of the NASCAR family, this will be my first. This will be my first.
I mean, definitely. I mean, you know, going around and, you know, the oval tracks and, you know, getting to know these teams. And for a lot of these teams, it's like, you know, a home race for them. And I know you've gotten to know a lot of the drivers. A lot of the drivers are from the area. You know, besides Brett Holmes, who's from, you know, one day he will win Talladega one day.
I sure hope so for his sake.
No, that town will explode if he does.
Oh, it sure will. He's already gotten billboards and everything over there. It's pretty crazy. It's awesome for him.
I've never been to Talladega. I want to go so bad.
I hope so. Yeah.
So kind of going back to that, a lot of the team, you know, a lot of the drivers are from North Carolina, like Ty Gibbs, Bad Moffitt. You know, I know Corey Himes from Georgia, but kind of going into that, what's it going to be like going and see these guys? And, you know, you're around the drivers a lot as much as I am, but what's it like, you know, just getting to know these folks as they, you know, head into the home race and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, you know, I think one of the cool things that we're able to do now that, you know, because last season was cut short, we weren't able to do a lot of garage chats before. And now we're able to now go into haulers and or at least outside the haulers, have these face-to-face conversation, or if you will, mask conversations, and get to know these guys, which is different than truthfully what we did over the pandemic. I had started these Zoom garage chats each week before a race, because it was the only way that I could get information, because at the racetrack we weren't able to talk to anybody because of the pandemic. So I think if you take that philosophy of kind of getting to know these guys in their environments, in their home, you know, track, first you got to imagine they're going to be a little bit more well rested. Most of these guys probably get the chance to sleep either in their own beds or close by, and have friends and family there, which I think is going to be a change for a lot of these folks than we've seen over the last year. And I think that puts a pep in people's step. You know, I think that's something that there's going to be some real good positive vibes coming around Charlotte. And I sure hope that they're being able to pass along good restaurant ideas, because I'll take any of their suggestions of restaurant places around the Charlotte area. as we're there for a few days for the weekend.
Yeah. I don't know North Carolina, North Carolina, I need like, I've never been there. So it's, I don't have any, ask that, ask Ty Gibbs or ask Thad Moffitt. Of course, those guys have been there.
Yeah, I'm bound to get at least one restaurant suggestion from at least somebody as to where to go to get. What food's there? I don't know. Is there barbecue? Is that different than?
No, that's Kansas. Did you get?
I found some barbecue in Kansas.
Did you get barbecue while you were in Kansas?
I did. In fact, I did. And I did based on suggestions on Twitter. So thanks to everyone who passed along suggestions.
Okay, where did you go?
I ended up at Joe's.
That is pretty good.
A cool gas station spot that the line was ridiculous. And there was a guy named Louise who helped me get out so I could get in and get to the airport really quick. Actually, get in, get out, and get to the airport. But
nice.
Yeah.
Always fun travel. Traveling is always fun, isn't it?
Yeah. Are you on the road much yourself here at all?
I'm not on the road. I'm not
at
on
all.
the road.
Okay.
I want to be, but it's just kind of in my space and all that and all stuff. I'm waiting for all this this COVID stuff to go away.
Yes.
I can go back out and travel again. And
understood. We're all in that together.
Fun, but anyway, what are you most looking forward to the rest of the races that you're doing?
The rest of the races. Yeah, you know what? If I were to take the stories, I'm most excited to follow some of the journeys of some of these. There's twofold, right? I want to see how Corey Haim ends up here in the season. I think he's one to watch for a lot of reasons. And I think, bringing in, I think what's special is even from last year to this year, the growth for so many of these drivers. You talk to Brett Holmes, you talked to Drew Dollar, and even Thad Moffitt last week told me all three of them have mentioned how they feel like they're leaders on the track now. And to follow their stories here throughout the season, I think will be a lot of fun. And to see how they really change as a driver from last year, say in the fall, to this year in the fall, and kind of see that comparison between them. I think that's something that I really will find very fascinating and what I'm looking forward to in the season.
Definitely. It's always it's always good to see in stories, and one of the reasons why I love covering ARCA is you just get to know people in the business, no matter if you've been there a long time or just knowing drivers in the industry, and someone and then they become,
and that's exactly right. They want to talk to you. They want to get their story out. It's they're approachable.
It's important. It's a big deal, and and it's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. So
that's so cool. I'm so glad that's a really cool reason. That's special.
Yeah, it's awesome. But anyway, Katie Osborne, thank you so much for coming on. We'll definitely be talking to you later, and we'll see you on during Charlotte Week on on FS1. But or we might see you at a car auction somewhere.
I think that one comes up first, but I think you're right. I think it's Fox. We're on Saturday on Fox Sports 1 coming on Charlotte. Yeah, it's a Saturday event, Saturday evening.
Yeah, should be fun.
I know. Thank you so much.